Okay. There you go. Go ahead. Stand over there.
Hi, welcome to the lead class. Anson's going to say a couple words about rentals and leads. Anson, property manager. There you go.
Hello. Most of you I've talked to at least on the phone or I'm driving down the road and y'all call me and go, oh, I got these people, they need 3 bedrooms and they want to be in Mount Pleasant. The reason I wanted to speak is because I am an incredibly busy woman. I mean, ridiculously busy woman. And it's not that I don't want to help every one of you and everybody you have that comes around. However, some caveats to that being, you know, if you get a lead for a rental, basically what you need to know from those people, how many bedrooms, when are they moving in, you know, what area of town, how much they're willing to spend, and do they have any pets. If they have pets, if it's a dog, what kind, what size, how old, if it's a cat, what kind, you know, is it male or female, is it fixed. Owners are very picky about dogs and cats, so whether or not it's for me or any other company out there, that's what they need to know. So before you pick up a phone to call anybody about a rental or even look on the MLS, that's what you need to know from somebody. Bottom line. And you need to be honest with them. If they say, I want 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths and I want to be in Park West and I got $1,200 to spend, you need to say, you're not going to be able to live in Park West. I'd be glad to send you the listings. You know, basically what you do from my standpoint, and Lisa may have a different way of doing this, but ultimately I get 50 phone calls a day, just random calling on random ads. And I say, you know, I'd be happy to send you what's listed in the MLS, you know, so that you can see what's out there. Because basically, you're going to waste a lot of your time with somebody who's not realistic about what the prices are in Charleston. And depending on where they're moving from, it may be realistic and it may not. I mean, some people are like, oh, well, I mean, I have to be in Mount Pleasant, but I only have $1,400. Well, you're going to be in a condo and 2 bedrooms, maybe 3, but that's just the reality of it. So, you know, Somerville, you get more bang for your buck, Goose Creek, North Charleston, and everyone will say things like, oh, well, I want to be close to downtown, and you can just explain to them. The closer you are to downtown and the closer you are to any water, the more money you're going to spend, and that's true everywhere in Charleston. James Island, West Ashley, Mount Pleasant are going to be more expensive than Goose Creek, Somerville, and those kind of areas.
Well, Anson, explain to them if they get a lead because they're auto-assigned now.
Right.
I think the biggest confusion is if the lead says, I'm interested in talking to someone about managing my house.
Yes.
That they need to know what to do and
right.
what is in it for them when
right.
that happens.
Right. And Sherry can be a testament to that. You know, we do get some every once in a while that someone will come in and it's an actual owner or someone buying a property that wants someone to manage it. And so basically what you do is send it to me. Ultimately, it gets really confusing if you call them because you don't necessarily know what all you're supposed to tell them, and I don't want you telling them something wrong, like, oh, it's 10%. Well, I mean, it's a little more involved than it's just a 10% management fee. I mean, there's other fees, other things involved. And so what's happened in the past is by the time I get hold of them, they've been told by an agent, oh, well, that's 10% and that's all it is, and we do this and we do that, and we don't. So ultimately, if it's someone wanting their house managed, what you should do is forward it to me and say, hey, you know, look, this guy wants you to manage his house. Now, 2 different scenarios. One being, so I never try and talk anybody into renting their house. Again, Sherry can attest. I always try and talk them into selling it. Not everybody has the stomach to rent their house. Ultimately, it's not just, oh yeah, your mortgage will get paid and everything will be fine and you won't be out of any money and you can sell it next year for more money. I mean, that's not true. So ultimately, what I want you to do is if somebody says, hey, I want you to manage my house, look up maybe if it's somebody that's not, this one guy's purchasing a house, but ultimately, if he says, I'm thinking about renting my house out, look on MLS, look on the tax records, figure out where his house is, figure out what it is. Does he have it on the market already? How long does he own the house? How much does he owe on the house? And you can contact him and say, hey, you sent me an email saying that you're interested in renting out your house. Just want to talk with you a little bit about, are you really interested in renting? Why aren't you selling? The markets, come back a lot in a lot of areas because most people have no idea what their house is worth. So they go, oh, I think renting is a good idea. Well, they may need to sell it. I mean, it may be a good time for them to sell it. So ultimately, talk to them about, okay, why aren't you selling your house? Say, I don't do property management, but we got a great property management division. Anson's really good. I can have her get in contact with you. Best way to handle it is, and don't tell them fees, don't tell them prices, just say, best thing to do is have us come meet you at the house so we can give you a better idea and talk with you about our program. Because the other thing is agents want to give them, oh, well, the comps say you can get $1,600. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that house can. It also might mean that was a different time of year. So don't quote them what they can get for rent. Until I see the house and go meet with the people, I'm not going to give them any amount for rent. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you could get 12 to 16 and go in and it's a dump. I had one in West Ashley last week that was that. But everyone wants you to, give them numbers. Don't give them any numbers. Unless it's for sales, say, but again, you're better off having seen the house. So you can just say, Anson and I would be glad to come meet with you, and then we go, you have all the sales information ready, I'll have all the rental information ready, and I'm going to walk in, the first thing I'm going to say is, so why aren't you selling your house? What makes you want to rent it? And they'll go, well, I was thinking that the market's going to turn around. I mean, they don't know. So I went on an appointment this past week with another agent who didn't have anything prepared on sales prices, and I looked at him and said, so why aren't you selling this house? Because he's putting $20,000 into it. And I said, if you're putting $20,000 in this house, you need to sell it. There's no way, no reason in the world you need to keep renting it. You may have to put 20 more into it. And so he goes, oh, I don't know what my house is worth. And she didn't have that information, so it just prolongs the process. Whereas if she walked in there and said, oh, I'd already pulled the comps in the neighborhood, this is what it is, this is what it isn't, then it's easier for us to make some decisions then.
Well, and if they decide they're going to rent instead of buy, or instead of
if they end up renting the house, if I end up taking on the management of the house,
right.
Basically you as the agent get 45% of the management fee each month credited to your ledger.
Without any other every deals done.
Right. So if it's if it's $1,000 rental, $45 every month goes on your ledger. And I have lots of agents who accumulated quite a few rentals, and that way their ledger payments and their MLS dues and things like that are taken care of. Now, don't go after houses that you wouldn't want to deal with and I wouldn't want to deal with either. We're not looking for volume. We're more concerned with quality in terms of,
But what is there for that $45 a month? They meet you at the house with the lead.
Right.
And then what else?
Then ultimately for the 45%, you would list it in the MLS and help get it rented in terms of fielding calls from the MLS and showings. That doesn't mean I don't also help and show and stuff like that. The other option is if you don't want to I have plenty of them go, you know what, I don't want to list it, I don't want to do anything with it, here, it's yours. You get a one-time referral fee of 3 times the monthly management fee. So if it's 10%, then you get 30% of whatever it rents for. So
$300.
$300. So that's a one-time fee if you don't want to mess with people calling you for showings or rentals or anything like that.
Or putting in an MLS.
Or putting in an MLS.
That's all you got to do.
Right. That's all you have to do. Right. And certainly there's a lot of people, that's a huge thing. We've grown, so much. I've been doing the property management, it'll be 3 years in September, and we've more than doubled the amount of homes, and there's lots more out there. Also, if you talk to people that currently have other property managers, you can always say, if they call you about a sale or something and they're currently renting it, they may or may not be happy with their current property manager. I'm not saying tell them to leave, but you say, we got a great property management program. I can tell you, I can toot my own horn. I do answer phone calls. I do answer emails. I work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and most other property management companies don't. Our fees are lower than most of the other property management companies, and they get a lot more out of it, a lot more personal experience. I take it very personally. I take the tenants, I care about the tenants, I care about the owners, that's why it stresses me out so bad. It's not a numbers thing, it's not this number of properties and, I never see them again and never talk to them again. But ultimately, I think it does make a difference. My tenants love me, my owners love me for the most part.
Everybody loves you.
But it does keep you very busy. But if you have someone, a lead that wants a rental, find out all of those things, how many bedrooms, where they want to be, when they're going to move, you know, what kind of pets, what size pets. If you want to shoot me an email, that's the best way. Shoot me an email and say, this is what I got, do you have anything coming up? I do advertise them, but like I had one in my pocket on Monday that I didn't list till Tuesday, you know, so I might have things coming up, and I don't always know when people are going to move. So I may have one coming up on James Island that, just found out yesterday they're moving at the end of July. So don't hesitate to contact me. Do not, please give all those people my phone number. I have more phone calls. Well, an agent in your office gave me your number. I'm looking for, you know, a 4-bedroom for $600 a month. And I'm like, and number one, half the time I'm driving, so I mean, I can't look it up either. But the best thing you can do is try and be as helpful as you can with these people, honest as you can with these people, and don't just pawn them off on me, because I really don't have time, you know, and I don't show rentals. Yeah, I don't show rentals, I don't do it, I show my own.
I don't think they're confused about rentals as much as the
management.
as when the ones, the leads that come in,
That are for management.
that say, I want someone to manage my house.
Right. Just
So
be
that's
careful
all
what you
have
say
to do.
up front, and you can say, Aunt's be glad to call you. She'll be glad to meet with you, you know, and you don't have to come to the meeting, but it's always good because it keeps you in the loop, and then if they ever want to sell them, they feel like, you know, you're attached. The other thing is, when they do go to sell, if they mention it to me, or if I have any idea, I do segue them back to you. I have had a few instances where they list it and then call me later and go, hey, we're going to list the house and we've chosen another agent, and of course there's nothing I can do about it, but that's partly your job to make sure you sort of keep a relationship with them.
Not partly. That is their job.
Yeah, right. I was just saying, you know, I can only do so much, but ultimately, you know, it all works very well, and you know, keeping it in house. Here are my cards if anyone needs one or doesn't have one.
Anson's the best. Anson is unbelievable. She really doesn't use her phone.
Yeah, I know.
No other
Close
question.
off the hook.
I've got you now.
No
But
other property
ultimately,
management.
You know, I do not mind helping, and if you call me and say, if you have an investor and say, you're thinking about buying this house, how much rent do you think they could get? You know, that's a lot of stuff I do as well. And if you want my opinions on that, I certainly give those freely as well. Just because I know what rents and what doesn't, and what areas and price range. So.
Thank you, Anson. Anson is the absolute best at what she does for us, and that's the truth.
And I used to do real estate, I used to do mortgages, so I know where you are. I mean, believe me, I've been doing all those years.
And she's one of my very best friends.
Yes. So.
Yes.
At least you get into it. All right.
Yeah, if I ever need anything, I call Anson. Y'all can't do that.
Exactly.
Well, I guess you could.
Yeah.
She probably
Good
would.
luck.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
I think she is, I don't know how she does it. She, just does not stop. She is something else. You cannot find anybody in property management.
All 3 pages.
For those of y'all watching online, they're passing around, I've got 3 sheets that they're handing out. I have one
All 3 pages go.
that's already
They're
on.
not staples, so you get 3 pages.
Y'all can figure this out. Come on. I mean, although I have to admit, every time that happens in a manager's meeting, I have trouble with it. But there's one already set up on AgentOwnedTV.com for download, and then I'll put the other 2 up. Here's one.
I have a question,
Here, we're gonna get Eric. That's all right, go ahead.
I'm just waiting for the back up here.
Okay.
You need to stay for it if you have it. It's too late now.
Everybody have 3 sheets?
No, I have 3 different
Different sheets.
I end up with 3 sheets, but they're all the same sheet, and then it's really pointless. That happens to me. Oh, Susan, no. Thank everybody for coming today. I started a sign-up pad, and I don't know where it got, but I know Eric has to sign it, and Susan grabbed it, probably. So do y'all understand what Anson was saying? In the very basic of it, that if you get a lead that comes in, and they want someone to manage their property, contact her, you contact her, and she will contact them about property management. You can talk to them about why don't you sell it, and then you can either meet her out there or not at the home, and you can decide whether you want to be paid 45% of the monthly management fee, or if you want 3 times the management fee and do absolutely nothing. For 45% per month, you put it in the MLS and you help her show it to potential people that are going to rent. Okay? Okay, so, yes.
That's what I was gonna ask you before we started. When we do our, that you're having a meeting, there are new people that are coming on the team, maybe somebody has missed something, but is there any way that maybe, if, we're gonna be learning about tagging, and, some of us have learned how to tag, some, so that we don't come to that meeting, that we can, continue doing what we're doing in our business. So when we get our weekly, update, hey, we're having a leads list on Tuesday, it's gonna be on leads list meeting on Thursday, at 10 o'clock. It's going to be on how to form your neighborhood and use MLS to do that, or
probably. I'll say
can
probably.
we think about that?
Yes, ma'am. Probably. I wish I had a syllabus that well thought out ahead of time, and yes, I did know I wanted to talk about leads this week, but a lot of times, it takes shape even as the meeting goes on. So the way that what I think makes the most sense is that in order to stay on the automatic email list, you can come or not come to the meetings. You can watch it online or not watch it online. If I make a change, and now they're going to be recorded, so you can go back and watch the recording later. If I make a change during that week's meeting and you don't follow it because you don't know about it, then you'll be dropped from the list. It's up to you to stay up to date with what is on the list. Does that seem fair to everybody?
Yeah.
Just because it can change week by week, and that's not me as much as just the world and technology changes, and what the website itself is evolving as they make changes that I ask them to do. So I won't know. Next week, I may not know until an hour before that Mersol's got the automatic emailing of listings the way that I want it, so that y'all can use it. They have it now. Mersol, after you get a lead, I want everyone to go and have it set up in the MLS for the automatic listing emails. Well, right now, Mersol has that in AgentOwned.com, but I still want y'all to do it through MLS because Mersol does not include solds in the pendings, where the MLS does. They're working on the sold in the pendings. When they get the sold in the pendings, then we can switch over. But like I said, I may not know that until an hour before. So, yes, I will certainly try. But I know y'all are so conscientious about trying to come in, and I know it's hard for some people, so I think that's fair. That's what we're going with. And I'm going to try to keep it kind of short and sweet today, but let's see. I've got my Owie-Dowie, my 17-year-old toaster, Owen. He's graduating from Wanda today, so I get to go to Wanda graduation.
You and how many thousand others, right?
Woo! I think they got 900 and something graduating.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be interesting. But, so that'll be fun. That'll be this afternoon. Anybody else going to Wanda graduation? I'm surprised. Well, there's not a next London, but
What did AgentOwned graduation?
is that today also? Really?
It was digital.
Really?
They only have like 300 graduating. So.
Really?
I'll go to that
Wanda
one.
is at the Coliseum.
Do you need a ticket?
No, thank goodness. That's why they got the Coliseum, just so that they didn't have to do all the tickets. Wando is huge, but it is one of the most well-run organizations I've ever seen. I mean, I can't, how they keep all that together, I don't know. But then their principal won Principal of the Year across the nation, at least once. not twice, I think she did twice. Just once?
Yeah.
Lucy, I've never seen her. I guess I'll see her today. Okay, sorry, I get so off track. Okay, I want to talk today about the tags, and some of y'all have mentioned, oh my gosh, you go into your leads and your tags are gone. I apologize for that. Things don't mysteriously appear and disappear. That was my fault, and I asked Mersal to remove tags because it was such a jumbled mess. We had, I don't even know, pages, 3 pages. Sherry helped me go through it. 3 pages of just misspellings and odd things, and it just was not useful to anyone. Now, the first page you can look at, which is not one of the downloads. I don't have all 3 pages taught all that time. No, I'm not.
Take that one, hold on.
Oh, okay. If you look at the one, it says group, but it only has 2 yellow boxes on the side. And this is not one of the downloads. This is just a screenshot for when you pull up a specific lead in what I call the back end or the admin section of AgentOwned.com. When you log in, you will, this is what it shows you by default. It will show you your leads, or at least it's supposed to. If it doesn't, let me know. Now, of course, I see everybody, but which one did I do for this? Probably should have whited out people's names, but I didn't have time this morning. Oh, this is here, she is. Okay. So you got your list of leads. Now, I'm not going to go over how to log into AgentOwned.com. Again, if you don't know, or need a refresher, I'll tell you once we're through. I believe most of the people in here know how to log into it. And AgentOwned, this is the site that I'm talking about. So when you log into it, you get into the back end, and the back end is green and black instead of blue and orange. So, here we go. If you open up one of your leads, you'll see that first page, or the page I'm talking about now, with the 2 yellow boxes. And it will show you under contact information out. Anyway, all right. So here's your group. It's a little yellow group box, okay? And there are your tags. Okay. Who could tell me one difference between the group and the tags?
The office you're in. So it's gonna be like
Right.
buyer,
Yeah, that's a good one. It's also the difference. Another difference is that the group is a drop down, whereas tags are not. So in the group, you have to select one of the done, typed, whatever, ones there. You have to select one. And then once you select it, you have to check it for it to hold it. Now I'm going to go back and take this out. But tags are not like groups. When you tag something, you can type in there anything. What in the... Oh, I'm going to just strangle him.
Yeah, that's how we feel when we open it up.
Okay, well, no, that's just website stuff for you. Okay. Well, what obviously Mersal did, and what I thought they had done, and they did do, is they wiped out all the tags from, well, this isn't what I wanted them to do. They wiped out all your tags from your leads, but left the actual tags. So by this afternoon, when you go to tags, you go here, it will not have anything to choose from unless I've already gotten them in there. If I have gotten them in there, you choose, and we'll go to the tags page, you choose from one of these tags to put in there. If it's not there, you can put any of these in there. I pared it down. I went through this with Sherry, and I actually kind of combined a couple of the other ones, trying to get it as simple as possible. So they were supposed to just wipe out the text, so you wouldn't see that huge long list. So you would only see these that are right there. So let's say that those are the only ones that there are. And you get your lead. Well, you're going to want to find out. I'm sorry, let me back up. I don't mean to jump around, but just bear with me. I'm sorry. Let me talk about the groups just one more second. When I put the group, that's the only thing that's the most important thing. If you will go and you will put each lead that you get into a group, that helps me because I can see that you've done something with it, that you know that you have it, and that you are, I just know that you have it and are doing something with it by putting it in a group. And I will show you why that's better for me than tagging. When I go to check and look, when I look at this list, the master list, see how, I changed that one to rental. Okay. Oh, look. Mark's already got his, an IOP renter, because he's in the Isle of Homes office, and it's a rental lead. But I can go down and see who's doing it and who's not, really fast, without having to go inside of each one.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Mhm.
I just don't know any of this yet.
Okay, I know. It'll all start coming together.
The group is for what the client's wanting or something else?
Combination.
Okay.
A group, I want you to select, well, you have to figure out first what they are looking for. And you do that by going to the property. You can go back to the property view history, and you can see this person is looking at, it's not a rental person, it's residential stuff. So that would be a buyer. Okay. Huh. Pretty good one. All right. So this went to Mary Purdue, I believe. So, I'm sorry. So you go back to your original, the info. There's tabs up here. Info, contact history, email. Property view history is where you can find out what they're looking, what they looked at, so what they are. Then you go to your group, and you put in your office. And in this case, she's IOP, or is she Mount Pleasant? She IOP or Mount Pleasant? Yeah, I think so too. So this is an IOP buyer. We think they'd be in order, but they're not. Because I put them in there, and I could be a spaz. So that's what that would be correct. Now, so it's your office and what the person is looking for. Whether buyer or renter is almost always what you will have. And then, you can see, I made a page with all of the groups, the screenshot with the group drop down open, so you can see them, all the possible groups you can put in. If you're not sure if they're renting or buying, I always err on the side of being positive, so I put buyer. You don't have to. It's up to you. You could put other. I would really I'd rather you prefer if you're going to do that, just put renter if you don't know. And you're not willing to put buyer, but I would put buyer if you don't know. And then occasionally you will get somebody like we were talking about earlier that wants their house to be managed. So that would be property owner. And you know what? I need to I'll add to the group, sorry everybody, but I'll add the offices, so you can do offices, property management too. Like what we were talking about with Anson. And then, very occasionally we'll get to some marketer or something that will respond in that way, trying to get attention. So you can just put other there if you'd like, because they really don't fit any criteria. So until I get the offices listed out, there is one that says property management, and you could use that until I get the office property managers one. Did that answer your question? Been a very long way. Okay. So, I'm gonna take this off because I want to know if she's seen it or not. You have to check the box. That's like, that's saving, basically, in this system. Okay, so now we get to tags. Tags are used for you and for me. If you choose not to use them at all, that's fine. If you choose to use them, that's very helpful to me, and I appreciate it, and it's great, and it can be helpful to you. They will not be wiped out again. But I want, unless they are not one of these on this list, and if there's something that you want to tag that's not on this list, ask me, and maybe we can add it to the list. But if you look at the page, it's got the 4 yellow boxes. These are the tags that I want everybody to use. So she would put in their buyer, and then you can have multiple tags. They're separated by commas. But if it's already in there, which it will should be by the time we get there, maybe, hopefully, cross our fingers, it'll just pull up buyer. It'll give you that, and you just click it. And then you can do another one. So you would choose one of these 4, unless it's just other. Again, if it's a marketing or something like that. And I don't have property management in there, so I will add that one. Let me make a note of that too. Oh, sorry. Okay, so. And then, before you go and set them up in the MLS with the prospecting system that I'd like for you to set up every lead, you can check and see if the email that they gave is viable. You can try sending a test email. I don't really know.
That's what I do. I send a test email and it bounces right back.
Just say test?
No, I just said, just checking to see if you're, I'm just checking to confirm your email.
Very good.
I call first.
Well, everybody has a different style, and sometimes, there's a different, your sales technique is yours. I suggest looking at the lead, trying to kind of study it a little bit, see what houses they're looking at and what clues you can get. It's always up to you how much time you want to take if you want to try to check them out on social media, figure out who they are, what they are, get some kind of idea of what the best approach is to approaching them. Some people you might want to text instead of call. But anyway, you would need to confirm that the email address is a valid email address before you go to the effort of setting them up as a prospect in the MLS. And then once you set them up as a prospect in the MLS, then in the tags you can put in, and we used to just say set up, but now we're going to say MLS set up. Oops. Sorry. So we'll put that in there, and I guess we'll just go ahead and do this. So this is if she's already set it up and she knows that it's a buyer, then she would have those in there. And then underneath it is a follow-up. If you've got them on some kind of campaign, if you've got campaigns organized, whether it's a drip campaign or a direct mail campaign, or you're going to follow up in X amount of days, and you've got it on your calendar, and you just know what you're going to do with them going forward, you would put follow-up. Now the follow-up, that tag can be left on there if it's a buyer or a renter, as long as you've got something that you're planning. Again, that always gets me, I'm sorry. Okay, so whether it's a buyer or renter, if you've got some plan of action to continue forward with these people and check on them later, you would put follow up, okay? If they've bought a home, you still would leave follow up, because when somebody buys a home, doesn't mean that you just drop them off your list. That moves them into a different category with you, where you should have a different campaign that they start getting from you. You know, a different type of just keeping in touch for the first year, and then after the first year, hey, remember me, and that kind of stuff. Same thing with renters. That would be slightly different than someone that bought a home. But once they've rented a home, then you still would be following up with them, because hopefully you would be putting them on a campaign where you're staying in touch with them, so that 6 months into their rental, when they start, or 9 months into their rental, when they start thinking about what they're going to do for the next year, maybe you could sell them a home rather than them renting again. That's the biggest thing. And the renters are a huge source of potential business in the future. So those are those two. Then you would choose, then there's another group that I call lead progression, obviously, if you're looking at the sheet. And it's showing, sold, or rented. And if you're showing someone property, then you would put showing. That means you're out showing them houses. If you've sold and closed on a home, you put sold. And if you rented them a home, you put rented. I used to have corresponding there. I'm not going to have corresponding now. I just think it's I don't really have to do that. The other stuff tells me whether you're actually talking to them or not. Okay. Then the next section is all about the sister companies. The sister companies, I'll go into this more in a minute, but it's very important that, well, more than important, it's why we get these leads. It's how we get the leads. It's from the sister companies. So every prospect, every lead that you get from this program needs to be introduced to a prosperity loan officer, introduced to one of the insurance people, and introduced or told about attorneys that are participating with our title insurance program. And I'm not saying they have to use it, but everyone should get an introduction, unless there might be some very, very, well, if someone's going to pay cash, obviously, then prosperity most likely will be out. Sometimes investors like to pay cash and they turn around and refinance really fast and get their cash out, occasionally. So it doesn't always mean if they pay cash that they won't talk to a mortgage person. And then occasionally you just have someone that says, you know, I've used this guy my whole life, that's who I'm going to use, I'm not going to talk to anybody else, and if you make me talk to someone else or give my name to somebody else, then I'm not going to use you to buy a house. Well, then don't do it. But other than that, just an introduction. Then they do their job, and you stay in touch with them, and hopefully they'll get the loan. But you want to do what's in your client's best interest, as far as getting a good mortgage and insurance, and but giving them the introduction, that's where they should be getting the best service, the comparable rates. Really, mortgage rates, people can make it seem as if there is a big difference in cost in mortgages from one place to another, but it's all in how they structure their wording and the loan. So when it comes right down to it, there really is very, very, very little difference in the pricing of mortgages. Now, very little. It may sound tremendous, like one may have a point difference in rate, or half a point, or a quarter point difference in rate. But what they're doing is you're going to be financing, the mortgage will be larger because they're buying down the rate. And then they'll lump that into the mortgage. And so and people pay for it. And you would say, oh, well, over 30 years, I'm never going to see that, whatever, $1,000 or $5,000. No, you're never going to see that. But if you sell the house in 3 years, you're going to see it then, because you're going to get $5,000 less than you would have if you didn't do that. That make any sense? Getting off topic again. God, y'all just have to throw wads of paper at me.
Before,
Yeah.
are you going to another tag?
Yes, I'll come back to these, sister companies, but if you got a question, go ahead.
For the new people, I thought what you did a couple of weeks ago for us was rather interesting. So you get a lead and you're like, well, how do I know what they are? But when you go to the property view history, it'll show you there.
Right. That's
Whether
what it
they're-
is. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did a minute ago, and I'll go back there and show you again. But that is your big, that's the easiest
That's the key.
way. That's the easiest way. Now, sometimes you'll go there and there won't be any. And I'll discuss that further in a little bit. But I want to get through these tags first. So, those are the sister companies. And then, the last but not least, and I put them last for a reason, because I don't care for negative stuff. So, you know, it doesn't bother me at all if there's no good information on it. If you don't tell me that it's incorrect, I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't want to hear it, really. To be honest. So, but if for your own sake, or for the sake of thoroughness, you can put incorrect information means that the lead has no good info at all. You can tell their name's wrong, phone number's wrong, and email's wrong. Or you can do incorrect email, incorrect phone number. And you do not want to delete that lead. And this is important. The reason you do not want to do it is that the system is set up on a cookie system. So that even if this person comes from a different IP address, a different computer, and they register with a different name, a different phone number, and a different email address, the system will still pair up that person with you if you were assigned the bogus person to begin with. I kind of want to add that backwards. So if you get a bogus lead, and they just put all bogus information in, and you know it's bogus, just leave it alone, just let it sit there. Eventually, hopefully, they will come and they will log in with real information, register with a real account, with their real name, their real phone number, and their real email address. Well, instead of it going into the lottery pool for it just to be automatically assigned to somebody, it will go directly to you because you have that old one still in your pot, I guess you could call it, in your list. So even though it doesn't have any good information, that person still will go to you. I am one of the things, hopefully by next week, that I will have, Marcel will have done, we'll have it so that you can enter your own leads in there. So you can use it even more as a property management. And the drip email campaigns are supposed to be coming out soon on here. And that's really it about the tags. I do want to say about the sister, obviously then whatever you get here, you have to check so that they stay, and then you check the box so that saves, and that is saving it, and there you go. But I'm going to take them out and let Mary do what she wants. And
So are they getting ready, like you said, supposedly to go ahead and merge all of our 7 times you logged in yesterday?
They're actually doing that right now with somebody.
you are?
I'm
Oh.
looking to see if it works.
Okay. Oh, that's an option now.
It is an option. I've got a lady that has come in 3 times.
Okay. Well, I have a list of I have a running list of things that I'm working on. Mersal.
I tried, it came up and asked me if I wanted to merge.
Yeah, but it doesn't merge it.
But it didn't merge it.
No, it just tags them all.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Let me test it out. I mean, unless you're just really adventurous. I mean, it doesn't bother me if you want to try it out. But I try to try things out before I tell you all about them. But we're continually doing things to the website and to the back end of the website and the front side of the website to make it better. The website and the leads, there are no charge for these leads, no referral fees for the leads. And people have been quite successful with them. I know, Rebecca, haven't you sold a house from the lead? And I don't know if anybody else in here has, have y'all?
I haven't sold, just rented rentals.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know, there's a lot of rentals, this time of year, you're gonna get a lot of rentals, I mean, that's just the way it is. Have you gotten any, I mean, you've been busy, but it's all on your own.
It's all on my own.
Man, you've been crazy busy.
4 in the last week.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
2 of them got blocked, 2 of them got denied, but.
Hey, man.
2 of them are going through inspections.
What, oh my gosh, well,
Yep.
and yeah, that is good, that is a lot to have on your plate.
Yeah. A little crazy.
Yeah, and you just gotta be so careful about, just makes you crazy, but that's real estate. It's good money, though. It's good money. Yes.
Yep.
How long does it take before you might see a lead come through? Because I've done it for like 2-3 weeks, something like that. And
Then you must not be on.
okay.
Sorry. If that is the case, you know, reach out to me, and I have been behind with my emails, so if you emailed me even a week, 2 weeks ago about a particular topic and you haven't heard back from me, email me again, and email me once a day until you hear from me. Because I always start at, no, I'm serious, I start at the top and go down, because that's just what I do, and I try to answer as many as I can, so the ones that are older just keep getting older, unfortunately, and that may not be the best way to do it, but I've really thought about it, and that's how I do it. So, if you've got something that you need to get my attention, email me every day, and I will get it, and I'll answer you, and then I have a way of making the other ones go away that you've sent about the same topic. So, I will make sure that you're on there. Is anybody else not getting them? You would have gotten leads by now.
I have been getting them, but sporadically, and the last 2 that I got was except for the one yesterday, like I only get like 1 a week or something like that. The last one that I got, I followed up, but the last 2 before that was like bogus.
Yeah, well that,
Name and number.
well as far as,
But I'm glad I didn't delete it, because I started to delete it.
no, don't delete them, don't ever, well, I mean,
Yeah,
that
it won't
would,
let you delete them anyway.
Okay.
yeah, that's true.
You can click delete and it just.
It won't, okay.
The
That's
screen flashes
true.
and it just hangs out.
That's true.
Try this.
But then you know what, Eric, the reason I say that, Eric, yeah, you can't delete it, but the reason I tell you that, not to delete it or even try to delete it, is because when you try to delete it and then it won't delete it, someone will email me and say it won't delete this lead, it's not good information. And then if you send me that email, you're very likely to get kicked off the list, because I'm just like, that is not the attitude that I like. And y'all all know that. I'll make sure you're on the list. As far as bogus information, it's just, it truly is a lottery. It doesn't go down the road. So you may get 5 in one day and then not get another for a week. And then, and of those 5, they may all be good buyers, or they may not be a single good one in all of them. I mean, that's just the way it is. And the more, since we've instituted the automatic assignment, I've had more time to work on the actual content of the website, so that's driving traffic up to the website, which will drive more leads, which is good for y'all. So
I told your father I got a call the other day, and I asked the lady, I said, how did you find this information? And she said, well, I was Googling around looking for websites, and the agent-owned website was the nicest one, this is what the lady said, was the nicest one on the internet and the easiest to navigate. And I told her, Dad, make sure you tell Lisa this tonight. Now, here's a question about when you do the group, and we have the default. I know you're tracking all of this. I'm wondering to track, just to see how much is bogus or just looking, you know, because how many of us get, oh, I was just looking around just to see what my house was like.
you know what though? The reason I don't like to tag or group or anything that, and this is why. I've been in real estate a while, gosh, a good while. I know, I'm starting to get pretty old. But anyway, I swear it just, if someone tells you they're just looking around, within 6 months they will have closed on a house. I mean, if you hear those words come out of somebody's mouth, you know that they are, I mean, it's just so typical. So you can't use that to mean, oh, they're just looking around, so I'll forget about them. No, in fact, it's the opposite. You just got to figure out how you're going to deal with them in a way they don't want to be bothered. You've got to gain their trust, and you've got to become someone they rely on so that they will use you. And they will use you if you can do that. The way you can do it, the best way that you can do it, that I used to do and I have found, is contact them a week or two later and just say, no hassles, no anything. You can look at what they were viewing, and this will tell you every time they log in and what houses they're looking at. Say, I just saw this house, and I thought, oh my gosh, this really might be just the thing you're after. Now that could be something they had just looked at, and they'll say, wow, you're pretty intuitive. Or you could actually know about a house that's not on the market yet, which would be even better. I'm getting ready to put this one on. But that's how you have to build rapport with those people, and that's why I don't like to write them off.
Mm-hmm.
If they say they're using another person as a realtor, okay, one of two things. It could be true, and they are, but they have contacted you, so you are allowed to contact them. That is allowed, because they initiated the contact. You are not allowed to initiate contact with somebody that's already working with someone else. But since they initiate contact, you're allowed to do that. So you can still put them on the prospect, automatic prospecting listings, emails. And that is one reason why I like for you to do that before you talk to the people, because I don't want you to ask them whether it's okay. I just want you to say this, and in my opinion, it would be best just to behave as if the system does that automatically. That's what we're going towards. It just isn't there yet. So, and you're not telling anything. You just say, and you've been set up, get listing leads, or you can tell them or not tell them. But somebody may say, well, I'm working with a realtor, so don't do that. Well, then you might have missed out, because they may not be working with a realtor. Or very often they'll get mad with their realtor and fire them, and then your stuff is sitting right there, they'll call you. And that happens a good bit. What else do I want to say? Oh, about the sister companies. I said I would come back to this. So everybody else is getting leads, even if sporadically. Do I get you in there?
I was just trying to, I sign up for it right now.
I think I'll check yours. But you may not even know how to get in there. I'll work with you about that. Okay. And then the sister companies. I don't know. AgentOwned Realty is a very unique company because of the business model and the way that it's structured. And hopefully when you came to AgentOwned, you were introduced to the business model. It's a very, very different business model, because by coming to AgentOwned, you actually are an owner of the real estate company. The real estate company is 100% owned. 100% of the real estate company of AgentOwned Realty is owned by you, the real estate agents. 100% of it. So that real estate company is part of a group of companies that are AgentOwned Real Estate, or Realty. And we have real estate, mortgage, insurance, title insurance, warranty, property management, business brokerage. All of those things go under that umbrella. And then we have a service company, which is the management of all of those things, as well as the real estate offices. And the service company coordinates all of that. I work for the service company. Your brokers, managers work for the service company. So they don't have any interest. There's no vested interest in them for them to charge you more for copies on a copy machine, because it doesn't affect the money they make. That money is completely separate. Anything that's taken out for running the operation of the real estate company, the overhead, is y'all's money. And if there's money left over at the end of the year, it's divided out as dividends. Try not to have dividends. That's a whole long conversation because of tax consequences. But in the past, we have had dividends. My father, who is the president of the company and the founder with my mother, he has a PhD in statistics, so he runs the numbers and has the history to know what needs to be held in order to operate the company and provide the printing material and all of that, postcards, all these different programs. And one of the programs that these sister companies provide is the website and these leads. Any other company, they may not charge you for the leads, but then you would be on what they call a split. Every other company calls splits, and some of the brokers here still call it splits. It's not really a commission split because you're not you own the company, but that you'd be on a 50-50 or something like that with a franchise fee taken off the top, and then so all of your business is affected, not just things coming from the website. If they're on a much higher commission split deal, then anything that comes from a website like this, you're going to be charged anywhere from 25-35% referral fee when it closes. We are not charged that. Y'all are not charged that, or are not charged anything for all of this because of Prosperity, Home Mortgage, and our two insurance companies, Wally Garbage Allstate, and then Alliance. Sorry, Alliance Insurance. That's Terry Murphy downstairs. She's a insurance broker. So basically, when you talk to her, you're talking to every insurance company. I mean, she can quote you from anything. So between those two and then the title insurance, the way that we write the title insurance is by you having your people close with one of our affiliated attorneys. And there's a list of our affiliated attorneys. In fact, if you take those little triangle things, and there should be little bookmarks in there, and Billy Joe's really good about keeping them up to date. But Angie, you may not have one, or you may. But if you close with one of those affiliated attorneys, then we do the title work, which that's a very big money maker. The more that we send, now see our commission schedule, we don't have commission splits, we have a commission schedule to keep your overhead where it is. The more participation that we have in these sister companies, the more that we have going to pay the overhead from the sister companies, then we can look at it and say, oh, we don't need this much to cover your overhead. Let's change the commission schedule. We've changed the commission schedule over time. We've never gone to where we take more from you or hold more. We've always gone in the other direction, where you take home more. So if everybody would rally and really support the sister companies, then potentially you wouldn't have to hold anything back, and potentially your real estate company could be making money, and you getting paid instead of you paying a company to have your license there. Of course, that would take a lot of participation from everyone, and it's hard to get that point across to everybody. But sending someone else to a different mortgage company is like someone coming to you and saying they want to buy a house, and you say, oh, you know what, I know this great realtor over at Keller Williams, you've got to call him. You wouldn't do that, right? Okay, you own this business. You own this. So you would not send them to another real estate agent. You just got to remember that when you're talking. This is your mortgage company, your title insurance company, your warranty, and your insurance companies, and feel like that. I mean, if they don't perform the way that you need them to perform for you to do business, then I need to know. People hesitate to let me know things like that, or don't even know to let me know. But let me know. That's one of my big things that I work on, is coordinating, trying to get all of that to work together. And I need to know if they are not living up to, if they're not being good employees. Because in this situation, y'all are the employers. They and I are employees. All right? Y'all are the boss. Y'all own the company, not us. And that is my little speech for the day. I'll take some other questions from y'all, but let me turn off the recording. And people that gotta do something else, go do something else, y'all always can though, you know that.